Welcome back to week 4, and in video 4 we are going to continue on and talk about mass wasting. And particularly we're going to talk in this video about some of the contributing factors and what it is, and then in video 5 we'll get into the major types as well as how to control and prevent them. So what is it? Well, mass wasting is the process of moving earth materials downslopes by the pull of gravity. So what is earth material? Bedrock, loose sediment, sands, gravels, boulders, soil, trees, houses, all sorts of different stuff. And then these can be moving downslope either so fast that you can't really outrun them, or so slow that you can't even see them moving, but you can see the evidence of the movement. And these can travel really far distances or really slow, so it kind of varies from type to type. So what are some of the causes? Well, steep slopes would be a good example. Any kind of angle on a slope, steep, low, gradual, can produce some types of mass movement. Gravity is going to pull that material down the hill, and then friction is going to help resist that pull of gravity. What the slope is actually made of. So if you have material that's just solid bedrock, it might not slide as easily as a hillside that's made of clay or sand. And sometimes you need a triggering movement. Most times you need a triggering movement, I should say. Such as in this picture here, we've got the triggering movement in this huge landslide was an earthquake, a magnitude 7.9/7.8 or 8 magnitude in China. So the hillsides were shaken by this earthquake, and then all the material was kind of rearranged, loosened, and then gravity could easily pull it down slope because of that triggering movement. So friction, like we can see here, we've got this huge boulder sitting on the edge of this steep cliff. This boulder is staying here and not moving downslope because there's so much friction between it and the ground below. Now when we have that friction decrease, maybe by water, maybe we have a clay deposit, that could help decrease the friction, and then that material can slide downslope. So friction is going to resist the movement downslope. And then if we increase the slope angle, increase water content, the friction can decrease, and then we can have that material move. Vegetation is another feature that helps stabilize a slope. This example here, this is Mount Defiance, right around the corner from the Hood River campus. This is a huge clear cut. They've removed all these trees, and now the roots to those trees, since they're now dead, are going to just break down and become part of the soil, and not going to help bind that soil together. So that slope now is more susceptible to mass wasting because all those trees are gone, and also the trees aren't present to soak up any extra water. So we're going to have both the lack of vegetation and an increase in the amount of water in that soil to help destabilize that slope. So a lot of times you'll see after forest fires or major clear cuts, if we have a huge rain event, then a lot of times that soil becomes mobilized and it slides down slope as a result. So water is a key factor in mass wasting events. Most likely to cause slopes to fail and slide. It's the most common trigger. Small amount of water can help increase the cohesiveness of the loose material. It can support vegetation, but when we cross this magic line, that water ends up detrimental to the slope, and it reduces the friction between the particles in that sediment, and it adds weight to the slope, so there's more for gravity to pull on to bring that material down. So water, very bad. You see a lot of mass wasting events in the wintertime in the Portland Coast Range locations, because there's increased rainfall, more water present to trigger those mass wasting events. Triggering movements, I talked about heavy rainfall, forest fires, Earthquakes and also volcanic eruptions can be a major trigger to these mass wasting events. An example is on Mount St. Helens, had a huge debris avalanche where a bunch of material slid down as the volcano was erupting and deposited all this stuff, all this debris out in the surrounding area. So some of the human-induced triggers would be mismanagement of water and vegetation. So we clear cut an area and we don't stabilize it with new vegetation. If there's a spot that maybe doesn't have proper drainage after construction happened, we can increase the water content in a slope, cause it to fail. Construction of houses and roads and other buildings or infrastructure can cut into slopes and oversteepen a slope, or building on a steep slope can overload and increase the weight on that slope and in turn cause that mass wasting event. And then mining miscalculations, loud sounds, explosions can also trigger mass wasting events as well. So that's kind of what mass wasting is and some of the factors that contribute to mass wasting. So we'll come back and talk about different types and how we manage the risk of these events.